Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining me, as always, it's my international panel of supplement industry insiders in the always dashing, lightly dosed Shane Smith, Stack3D.com, the over-caffeinated Polish polarizer, Lukasz Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology, and the chief formulation consultant for Insane Labs, Mr. Robert Samborsky. How are we doing, my friends? It is a Monday. We're hoping we get the energetic, antagonistic, excited Shane this week. We'll see. Grandpa TJ, for you, those of you tuning in, it's nap time for TJ. He saw his afternoon stories. He saw some days of our lives in General Hospital, and then he got tired and needed to take a nap. So I don't think TJ will be joining us today, but we will see him around for next week. So for all of you that are tuning in on the live stream, thank you for doing this. As always, we appreciate any comments and questions you might have for our panel. And if you like what we're doing here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast, leave us a 5-star review on any of your favorite podcast listening platforms. And now we've done all the official stuff, gentlemen. We're off to the races. So any new supplements land your way this week? Anything exciting that you've been testing out, trying?
Devastate. That was really the what's his name? Devastate of the Union. Sorry. That was that was a beast. That was just a beast. That one took me like 2-3 weeks to review, but it was I think I said it last time. That thing is just dynamite. Lukasz has it.
Yeah, I've got the tops this week. They arrived. I had to pay some customs, but was a bit painful. But at the same time, I didn't try it yet. They are sitting and waiting patiently.
I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, to be honest, man, it was a tough because especially after reading your review, I was like, man, I want to bust this open and try it straight away.
Like I said, it is one of my top 5 pre-workouts of all time. My favorite pre-workout that Inspired's ever done. My only catch, like. Energy's great, focus is great, pump's insane, performance is pretty up there. The only issue I had was tolerance.
But you know what?
Like, so fast, it was insane.
The details that they made as far as the labels, how everything looks, and presents itself. It's really, really amazing job. I need to give them a huge shout out and props, because Landon and Chris are doing some epic stuff, and I love when brands are putting more attention to how tops look, how everything is presenting, not only from the labor perspective, but also the experience, how you can see when everything is stacking and all the stuff. Yeah, man, love it.
Landon actually asked me if I was gonna go to the Olympia.
What did you say?
I was just like, the thing is that people ask. I've had that question a few times. They said, "Are you going to the Olympia? It's like the only expo of the year." And I was like, "What's funny is that I had already booked my travel pretty much for 2020 in March. The Olympia was not on there. So I remember, if Lukasz, you will remember, after last year, I said I'm not going again. It was that bad that even I'm not going.
Yeah.
And now this has happened. I just want people to know I'm not going because of the coronavirus. It's because last year's Olympia and the one prior were just bad that I'm just have no one. You're gonna have to prove to me it's better from a distance before I even consider going again.
But dismissing the COVID, would you still consider it going?
No.
Even due to the fact that now the Olympia is run by a bit different crowd of people, and no,
it's run by different people, but they're saying the same thing that they said last year, and it's run by someone different owns it. But as far as I knew, a lot of the same organizers are still there.
Yeah,
I remember last year during the commentator, the bodybuilding, the Olympia, the show, they were saying things like, "Oh, have you been by the Expo? It's got record-setting amounts. The attendance is amazing. We've got great booths." I went to the show, man. I remember I went to the show on Saturday, first day. Was it Friday, Saturday? I went one day, or Saturday, second day. I went Friday, then I went Saturday, and we were going to try and pick the best booth award. And one of the biggest booths was 5 Hour Energy, and it was 10 o'clock. I think the people got in at 9. No one was at the booth. It was like no one was there. And I was like, we'll come back and see it in action. Came back at 10:30. No one was there. I was like, how in the hell do you have something this big and no one's been, no employees, no representatives were there for 90 minutes? It was insane. But it just, yeah, it was just if you were there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you were there and you'd been at maybe 2-3 years prior, you'll know what I mean. Yeah. But I'll have to see. I'm going to want to see to believe, you know, when after this year, if someone says, oh my God, it was amazing, the pictures looked amazing. Yeah. Otherwise, so
are they planning some stream as far as the expo or something? Or
I have no idea.
I don't think so. As far as I know, there's going to be no expo. At least that's what I heard.
Oh wait,
Robbie,
no expo. Oh,
I don't think so.
Going?
I'm considering going. I mean, I'm just a fan of bodybuilding. I really don't give a shit about anything else. You know, I would never have a booth at the Olympia because, you know, we talked about this already. I think it's a complete waste of money. And, you know, there was some company last year that I don't even know what the name of the company is. It was the first time ever that they came to the Olympia. I think they just launched or something. And I looked at the supplements because, I mean, that's from my perspective, that's what I do. I look at the supplements and the first thing I'll grab, you know, I mean, like you said, it's important, the packaging and all that. But at the end of the day, you know, even when you buy a car, it's the design of the car is very, very important. No doubt about it. You know, we all want a cool looking car. But at the same time, you know, you want to see if the car can perform. So for me, the first thing I'll grab the supplement facts. That's number one. You know, I'll look at that. And I looked at the supplement facts of that company. Again, I just don't remember which company it was because I haven't even heard about them ever since. But they probably spent, I don't know, $1 million on that booth because that booth was insane in terms of, you know, they fucking brought cars and I think celebrities.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
it was like Trifecta.
No, not Trifecta.
No,
they had,
so there was that big setup at the front.
At the front, correct. You know, and they
it was
brought,
like Trifecta. Then there was like these supplement brands.
Yeah, they had a car and everything, and they brought every fucking top, and I mean top UFC fighter that probably cost them arm and leg. They brought Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre, and I mean everybody who's anyone was there. I mean, people basically didn't give a shit about bodybuilders because everybody was at that booth. You know, I looked at the supplements. Nobody paid attention to the supplements. Yep. I tried some of them because they had samples, and they tested horrible. I mean, we're talking assassin level. That's how bad it was. Even the protein wasn't fucking good.
I was trying to talk to them about.
Yeah, they were like everybody. They had security people like fucking. They look like Schwarzenegger, each and every one. They look like Terminators, and everybody was wearing a suit. It was like watching a fucking Russian KGB movie or something like that. They look very, very serious. And at the end of the day, like, you know, you're presenting a supplement. You know, obviously you want to do business, and you invested shitload of money in it. And like, you know, if I'm a consumer, I'm not buying that shit. I just want to take a picture with a UFC fighter or celebrity. And that's the reason, like, they had fucking line for like a mile because everybody wanted to take a picture with the fighters. They had everybody. Like I said, everybody, every top fighter was there. And Chuck Liddell, I mean, whoever you can think of is the top fighter was fucking there, legends. But nobody paid attention to supplements. And the same thing, like Shane said, you have that 5 Hour Energy. It was a fucking huge booth. I mean, huge. They spent money on it. And I remember nobody gave a shit because unless you have somebody at the booth who is important, nobody, oh, you're giving away free shit. And I mean by free shit, like, you know, T-shirts and, I don't know, bags or something like that. Nobody is interested.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find that brand. I know
I forgot the name. Like fuck, it was actually a cool name.
I know I spoke to them about it
in comments. Joko's brand?
Jocko Willink, was it his brand?
No, it was. I know the brand. It was in line with the Trifecta booth, and
yeah, they were like next to each other.
I went up and talked to them, and I said, "There's a lot of chicks behind the booth." It was really weird because there were a lot of big ass security guards.
Yeah, and everybody was wearing like
everyone's
a
kind of looking at
$10,000
you
suit.
like, yeah, they're looking at you like. And I said, me and my wife were just like, are we going to get, like, are we doing something wrong? Can we not walk through here?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was all these, like, fitness models that were meant to be telling you about the supplements. And when I asked them, I was like, that's right, they do. They did donuts. They did, like, donuts and snacks and stuff like this. They had, like, a brand that made donuts. I don't think they were, like, anything functional. I can't remember. And then there was a brand that did these, like, beauty kind of supplements. And then they had these... And I was trying to understand the connection because they had the same name, but the branding was completely different from the next one to the next one. And they're like, oh, yeah, we do this, this, and this. It's an influencer type thing and blah, blah. And I was like, okay, and I'm like, I was trying to ask where's the like consistency or like but I don't know. And then we didn't share it. I don't think we shared it. I was just looking through my site. I was like, no, it wasn't there. But it was not memorable, obviously.
Yeah, Adam, it wasn't Origin Labs. It was something new, like a completely.
No, it wasn't American. I thought it wasn't from the US. I thought it was like.
I also don't think. I think they look Middle Eastern. They look Middle Eastern, I think.
Well, everybody looked Middle Eastern except the fitness models.
Yeah,
and they had a big influence
a lot of
as well.
Cash, and they can spend a lot, just to like promote themselves via using other like people that are pretty famous, such as you mentioned, like Chuck Liddell and other guys.
I tell you what, if I had a lot of money and I didn't want to do much at work, I would do that.
But honestly, if I would like do a booth, I would do it completely different. I wouldn't like invest in those kinds of things. You can bring attention in completely different ways. You don't have to like have only like teeth, tits, and the ass, flashing all around your booth. You can do a completely, cool design. Like you probably remember like the events that we participated. Like for example, FIBO. Let's say the Roca. You remember their stand from last year? It was
who? Oh, Roca.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, dude. And like
simple.
Anybody, they want my best booth award. I know they didn't care when I gave it to them, but like I went
they just took an award and like, oh, okay.
No, the thing was they were so great when I gave it to them. They're like, oh, hey, thank you, blah blah blah. I gave it to them, and they're like, they brought their manager over, and he's like, oh my god, this is so, and they were so open. But like, I swear to God, I never saw any mention anything anywhere. It probably went into the bin after that. I don't know, but they seemed really to like it. But like, that's the hardest part. Like, I'm just this random dude, just shows up, it's like, hey, congratulations. I think I explained this. The weirdest one was barbells, which I believe is pronounced bearbells.
Yeah.
I've always just said barbells, but they did a video in English the other day, and they actually said bearbells.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's how you say it. I've always just, I remember when I did their award because they won best tasting, and I told you the guy I gave the award to was cutting samples on the table, and was explaining to him how they won an award. And then he just kept cutting the samples, and then I put it on the table, and he's like, "Okay, thank you." Didn't touch it, didn't make any effort to grab it. And then I said, "You can share it and stuff like that." He's like, "I will," and then just goes back to cutting. And I was like, "Okay."
I guess he was busy.
At least, yeah, but he didn't. I don't know. It felt like I had coronavirus back then. He didn't look like he wanted to touch it. But they actually ended up sharing it, but he just no sign of emotion, don't care, just like whatever.
They shared it, right? Later.
They did, but like I didn't know about it.
It
was really weird. It was fun though.
I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I remember going to to the Expo at the Olympia, and they had GAT, and GAT had a huge booth. I mean,
yeah, they go big.
Yeah, I think Big Ramy was there, Sadiq, and John Jones from UFC. And I was observing it, like I was just curious because I was really considering doing a booth as well the following year. And I think GAT's booth was the reason why I didn't do it, because I'm looking, those three guys who are like major stars, obviously, they have a line of people, and on the sides you have supplements, like you have GAT supplements, and clearly, you know, everybody is there just to take a picture with those stars. Has absolutely nothing to do with the supplements. The same thing was with Yamamoto Nutrition last year. Ruli Winkler was there when he was with them still, and he was with them, and you have a huge line of people. I don't think anyone even looked at what they're selling and what they're doing. And I understand those are mega companies that they have a lot of marketing money. So for them, it's, I don't know, like a tax write-off or something like that. But I think what Lukasz said is true. You know, it's good on one hand as a brand. I mean, if I was to do it, it's good to bring somebody like, you know, like Branch Warren, for example. The problem is that you have to still, in my opinion, to be able to attract people to your brand, because that's essentially what you're promoting. It's the brand itself, not somebody to come and take a picture with the star. So, you know, and tits and ass, yes, it works. But again, people want to take pictures with them. And I remember, I think 2 years ago, maybe last year, in the center of the Olympia, of the Expo, they had Bang. So Bang had like a center stage, and they had dancers, and it was like a huge party going on there. But they were doing something that was actually about the brand. So they were throwing out or giving out, so to speak, cans of Bang that obviously cost nothing to make, but at least now you attracted and you're trying the product that is obviously cost, I don't know, a few cents to make or something like that. I mean, it's cheap, but they promoting still the brand. So while they had the dancers, they were also promoting, and, you know, people are walking around the Expo and they all holding Bang, or they had like bags. They were giving out bags, plastic bags, shopping bags that cost also nothing to make. And you can see like people would get samples of other products from other companies, but they would still put it in a bag of Bang. So I was like, okay, that's clever marketing, because it's still about product, and it's still about advertising, and it's still about promoting the brand. Like I saw Bang everywhere rather than going to GAT and seeing John Jones and Big Ramy and not seeing anything about the brand itself. And I think this is where brands are going wrong.
I think Optimum Nutrition did it probably one of the best. It was like, I'm as far back as I remember, they did the walkthrough booth where they put they put their ambassadors and their celebrities inside, and they would have anywhere from like 5 to 6, 7 stages, and you would go in, you'd get a sample of amino energy, you'd get and then the next one would be like a sample of the new gold standard flavors. And then you get to taste test a new protein shake, and then you would get to photo with their athlete. Then you'd get a flyer of a promotion they're doing, and then samples of another product. And then at the end, the last time I went, it was like Charles Glass. And then you go out, and then you'd get a T-shirt or something. But like at each stage, because the line wasn't like bustling along, because people were stopping and taking pictures with the celebrities and ambassadors, they were stopping and educating you on each thing. So be like, hey, you want to try the new flavor of Gold Standard? It's our signature protein. And then, you know, you'd get to the taste testing and they'd be like, this is our amino energy drink for blah, blah, blah. And people were being forced to, like, not forced, like push, but like because they were waiting for the line, they had full-on promotions. They had, I mean, why not try it? Why not learn a bit more? You're sitting there for a good moment. And it was just, it pretty much forced you to do each thing, which was good. And it took advantage of the fact that they were in the line and they were, you know, waiting to see the end result. They didn't have huge guys like, I mean, Charles Glass was popular, but, you know, it wasn't John Jones or Ramy. But I liked that setup. Even when I went through each time to get my free flavor or whatever, it was each time like the pictures and all this stuff, and it was cool.
What do y'all think about this as a way to improve the booth experience? Have a barbell curl competition every hour on the hour or something like that. I've seen brands do.
Yeah, brands have done that.
contests?
Animal is big on that.
Well, yeah.
Brands have done this.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them do push-up contests, but it turns into like a monkey fucking a coconut kind of thing, where you're just humping like this. It's not really, there's not full, extension and full flexion going on with the push-up. It's not nipples to the ground kind of thing. It's like,
I like the analogy.
doing that number. I mean, I like the fitness competition idea, which is kind of cool. It's just, you've got to be like, you actually need to make it legitimate and have somebody like do a strict curl competition or something like that. I think that would be cool if you made it legitimate.
I've seen the curls, the press-ups, the pull-ups, ball sets. Yeah, you see a lot of them. The bench press one they've done a while, like reps on your body weight.
Pull-ups as well.
But I mean, that's still the same thing. You get a line of people doing it, but you won't have that added promotion being like, hey, while you're here, check this out. Like, it's just they're waiting to do it because they might get a free bar at the end. Whereas, like I said, Optimum did a really good job by, and they had lines, and so it worked, I think. But
I remember like it was 2 or 3 years ago when I was at the Muscle Farm booth at the FIBO. We had the punching ring. So every person who wanted to participate paid €5 to punch a bag, and he always wins something. Always. Doesn't matter. Sometimes it was a shirt, was a sample bag, wristbands, shaker bottles, those kind of things. So it was attractive for people, just to like pay those €5 just to participate. But at the same time, they always wanted to win, some more stuff. But it also attracts people to, come to check the booth, because the girls who were like collecting the money, they always said, to them, well, maybe you can check some products out or something like this. And we were standing very close by, so they could like jump on and just ask questions about the products, this kind of things. So that was a pretty cool option. And I remember it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, back when C.T. Fletcher signed a contract with Muscle Farm, and we also had the punching bag. It was crazy. It was tons of people, and like we were selling lots of product, as well as he was back there, shouting to people. We gave him also a mic, so he was also like shouting, "Come on, motherfucker!"
I think you gotta pair it. It's good bringing the people in, but you gotta have some way of getting something like in their face and getting them to know what they're there for and stuff.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Along those lines with CT Fletcher right there, this is a question I've been asked a couple of times. I want to get the group's thoughts on this. If you could train with anybody, past, present, future, if we're going to go there, if you want to say like, I want to train with my great-great-grandson, 60, 70 years from now to see what resistance training equipment's like, then you can say that. Anybody, or do you just not care? Who would you want to train with and why? We'll start with Robbie.
Is it like bodybuilding training? Like
it can be any kind of training. So you and I have a martial arts background. If Shane wants to train with Michael Phelps or Greg Louganis or something, he could do that. So go ahead.
If it's bodybuilding, I think just for the experience of it, I did train with Dorian Yates, so that was pretty cool. But I think actually, maybe being a little bit biased, but I think Branch Warren would be very, very cool to train with, just because of the intensity that he brings. And I just like that, that attitude, eye of the tiger kind of a thing. He's very aggressive. So I really, really like that. Where the hell did he disappear?
We lost Shane.
Yeah, maybe Wi-Fi. Probably Branch Warren would be. In terms of martial arts, I really don't know, but
I haven't.
Just maybe for the hell of it, it would be probably Van Damme.
Oh,
I figured that one was coming.
Yeah, you were expecting that.
Oh yeah. Would you want to train with him before one of his certain movies, like before Kickboxer or Bloodsport or Universal Soldier? And like, is there a specific movie you'd want to train with him leading up to the release of?
You know what? Yes. The reason is because I think that would be exciting because training. Because I know, like, let's face it. I saw Van Damme in person, and that was in South Africa. He came to the premiere of the movie The Quest, and in that movie, I think he was the biggest I've ever seen him. Like in the movie, he was like buff, like ridiculously, and then in real life, he was absolutely tiny. I mean, he was so small. There was, it was a huge eye opener. So that's when I started to really get into the whole bodybuilding kind of training and stuff like that. So I mean, there's no denying that performance enhancers are used by a lot of actors,
Right.
leading up to a movie just to buff up like 2-3 months, because we've seen that with even Hugh Jackman or whatnot. We can't be naive and believe that that's real when the guy is like 45 and he goes from looking like an average Joe, all of a sudden 3 months later he's doing a movie and he looks like ripped to shreds, like he could probably compete on a physique stage at the Olympia. So those things, I mean, and not to take anything from the intensity of training, because I know those guys actually diet hard. They train hard. Performance enhancers aside, they definitely train hard. And I think that would be very, very interesting to see and to experience that, because something tells me that leading up to those movies, when you look like the way I saw Van Damme look, I would say that the intensity and the training is probably like getting ready for the Olympia or for Olympics or something. And especially because I'm not extremely flexible, to be able to train with him in that department, like, flexibility training and something, I think it would be very, very interesting.
Did you need to top off the glycogen source there, Shane?
He is bang on.
You're what, hypoglycemic. Yeah, and for you guys watching on the live feed, keep your comments and questions rolling and let us know who you want to train with. And we will, as soon as we finish our main event topics, we'll get to any questions you have for our panel here. Lukasz, who you got? Who would you want to train with?
As far as athletes, I would definitely say Michael Jordan. After the documentary and everything, plus I was like a huge basketball fan. I played for almost 18 years since I was younger, and for the entire college and everything. So yeah, when I was younger, I was like a big fan of Mike, and as well as Magic Johnson. But Mike was always my top fan, and I was like always like into his playing and how he lead the team and everything. So definitely. But from bodybuilding crowd, it's a tough one. But I still would say that Jay Cutler, he's someone that I truly appreciate and admire, and he's the type of a guy that he's not like super hardcore, but at the same time he trains smart. And he built his career on those kinds of principles. So I think that training. I trained with Jay a few times, and I would still repeat that. But yeah, man, training with Jay, especially in his prime, that would be something cool, So yeah. Plus, if I'm at this topic, I need to give you, Robert, a shout out for the interview with Jay. Great job, man. So
thank you.
That was a good one.
Oh, man, you were a vital cog in getting that thing set up. So, the thanks is reciprocated. It was a hell of a time talking with Jay, and it was that's one of the little boxes I get to check off on. I made a wish list of people I wanted to interview when I started the podcast 2 years ago, and he was on there. And there's a few other people that I'm slowly starting to tick it off. So it's cool to be able to see that happen.
Yeah. So people that didn't listen to your interview, I highly recommend to check it out. So it was top notch, man.
Good guest, a humble guy. It was a hell of a good time. So
yeah.
Shane, what about you, my man?
I mean, I don't really have anyone. I mean, I have one person, but it's more of an emotional thing. But I don't really have anybody I'd like to train with. More, I'd just rather just meet them. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't really want anyone to train. I'd probably want to train with my dad, but that was about it. I mean, I wouldn't want to train with any big athletes or anything like that.
Was he big into resistance training or just sports, physical activity in general?
Now he's a bit of a fat dude, but like the thing was like when we got into the gym, I was like 18, 19, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like at the swim club, they're like, "Oh, go join a gym." So we joined up to one like up the road, a bit of a hardcore gym. And they're like, "Yeah," me and my brother signed up. And then they said, "Oh, would you like your mum and dad to train? Like to come for a free session?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so they booked them in for the week after, like the 1 week later. So I was probably like, we'd only been gymming for 3 weeks. He was going to come check it out, but he died before he could go. And they called us up literally like the day.
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, you still coming in tomorrow?" And I was like, it's an awkward conversation.
Oh, shit.
Like, what
Damn,
do you do?
Damn.
So it was because it like happened quite fast. So, you know, that's always like in the back of my mind. Like, I think like he would have loved to do that. But yeah, that'd probably be the only one. Yeah. Outside of just meeting people.
Yeah. Bradley Martin in the gym or Michael Eckert on bars. Okay. Pete saying don't have an individual train with, but a place would be, old Gold's Gym back in the day when all the movie stars were going there, Schwarzenegger, Stallone. Van Damme probably went there a couple of times, I had to imagine.
Now you got a bit different crowd than back in the days.
Yeah, I would say if we're going like the bodybuilding style, I mean, I think I might have to go after Robbie's thing, and I would say maybe Stallone before Rocky IV, because I think that was probably his best physique. And that was always my favorite movie growing up, or one of my favorites. And still to this day, I can watch Rocky IV any time of day. For a martial arts thing, I don't know. I mean, it might have to be Jun Rhee, who was kind of the father. So my black belt's in Taekwondo or Americanized Taekwondo. Jun Rhee was the father of bringing Taekwondo over from Korea to the States and bringing it into Texas. So I think it would be pretty cool to get a training session in with him, and just to maybe also I want to do a training session with Robbie one day, just because my background's Taekwondo, obviously, but his is Muay Thai and a little bit of MMA stuff. So I want to see Robbie kick a bag in person and see what happens.
It's funny that none of us mentioned any women or anything.
That's because TJ is not on.
Yeah.
TJ is missing, that's why.
All right, Robbie, we got a question for you. And no, that's Greek. I was going to say, Robbie, what does that say in Russian? But this is Greek. We've had this guy on Sandy and I's live feeds
Greek,
before.
definitely Greek.
Yeah. We got the Sigma sign right there in the front. So, yeah, that's a dead giveaway. And the pie. Why didn't you put Jugglins instead of DMHA and Assassin?
Actually entertained the idea, definitely. But, I mean, it is DMHA, basically. But the problem was the manufacturer at the time who was manufacturing our Assassin. Again, we deal with reputable manufacturers. That's very, very important to us. And when it came to Juglans Regia, we basically asked him, and he said that to get a legit Juglans Regia in the United States is close to impossible. And there is a lot kind of like DMA. There is a lot like that's the reason why you see so many DMA products having 100, 120 milligram in a serving, which obviously doesn't contain maybe DMA at all. So just the trust issue of the ingredient itself and the source was not good enough for us to go ahead and do it. And I think considering how it came out, and especially with Robert's input, I think number 6, even without Juglans Regia, came actually pretty good. In the future, maybe, but it's not something that I'm focusing on right now. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, for example, I could make a product right now with DMA. The problem is like where I would manufacture it. I mean, there are a lot of takers, of course, but would it be DMA? And on top of it, why mess with something that is banned or about to be banned or a questionable ingredient that might not work? And that's the reason why you have somebody like TJ or Review Brothers. They review the product sometimes that contains Juglans Regia, and they say, well, that doesn't feel strong or whatever, just feels funny. And I just don't think that, you know what, we have Hooligan, that somebody actually, I think supplement advisor, John Cook, he sent me a screenshot that I actually wanted to post it on our social media, because that was the highest compliment, I think, I've ever received. And I forgot to tell you, Robert, because I mean, you have a lot to do with it as well. And the guy basically sent a text message to John Cook. And like I said, he sent me the screenshot. And this guy says to him that Apollon Nutrition Hooligan, not Assassin, Hooligan, should be considered easily the top pre-workout in the world. And he gave a reason. And I actually never thought about it. I never thought about it because, well, you know me, I don't think that there is such thing as the best pre-workout. It depends on a person. But this one actually stood out because he gave a reason. He says there are no exotic stims, none, not even Alpha Yo, which actually can mask any formula and make it look like it's actually a good pre-workout or a strong pre-workout, but all it is just Alpha Yo. He says there is no, not even Aerogenesis. There is nothing, no exotic stims whatsoever, just caffeine. That's all you have in it. He says a fast-acting and slow-acting caffeine. He says just with those two sources, he says energy is clean and it lasts forever. And plus on top of it, you know, the entire profile. So the point is like, I never thought about that way, because if you look at any so-called, you know, top pre-workouts, you'll always find an exotic stim, always, especially the ones that are fairly strong. You will find an exotic stim, or you will find probably something like a prop blend that you really don't know what's in it or how much is in it. So, you know, something that costs a lot of money, maybe there is like a little bit, you know, a tiny little dose, and then you might have caffeine. Like we all know about a product by a certain company that is a prop blend that, in my opinion, is garbage, and I'm sure in yours too. But I think that the tests, most of us actually saw it, that it contains over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine and 6 milligrams, I believe, of Alpha Yo, and there is nothing in it. So if you take something like that, you're going to be fucking running through the wall, and you're going to think that this is the best shit ever created. I mean, there are 0 pumps, there is nothing else, but you will feel it. I mean, even if you're dead, you're probably going to wake up. So the bottom line is that sometimes you can have a great pre-workout without using the exotic stims. It's how you put it together and how well it's formulated, how good of the ingredients that are using, and who is formulating the product for you. I mean, I formulated Hooligan without any exotics, and actually crossed my mind for the next edition for next year to actually include something exotic, maybe even a little bit. But after I saw that message, I was like, no, you know, I'll reserve that for Assassin. I'll still pack it, but I'll reserve it for Assassin. I think I just want to stay, I want to keep Hooligan as clean as possible, using only ingredients. I mean, it's probably going to be still only caffeine driven. So, you know, Juglans Regia, if somebody's using it, good for them. If you feel it, excellent. If it's real, even better. But for now, there are no thoughts about it. I'm sure Robert will agree.
Yeah, I would say it's just the number of quality manufacturers that are actually sourcing the ingredient and providing it or offering it is becoming fewer by the week or month. So companies that are including it in there, I would be highly suspect of the manufacturing process that they're using, or the manufacturer that they're going with, or if the raw is actually Juglans Regia, or just, you know, it could just be Juglans Regia, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's containing the DMHA alkaloid in it. It could just be a blanket, you know, ground up weeds or leaves from the plant, and it'll say Juglans Regia on there, you know, walnut tree, whatever the fuck. But it's not going to give you, it might not have the active alkaloid in the amount that you're used to seeing, like 150 milligrams, like some of the old higher stem pre-workouts used to have. So just be careful of what it says on there. A lot of the times it might just be window dressing, especially the further along we get from, you know, today, or, you know, last year, the year before, and all that, when it was really in its heyday.
Well, Robert, how many times have you heard about the fact that, wow, I have this, I know this pre-workout, it has ephedra in it, and every time it's the same thing. It doesn't have fucking ephedra in it. It just doesn't.
It's just the ephedra plant extract, but there's no ephedrine alkaloids in there. So,
you know, and people still fall for it. And it doesn't matter how many times it was posted. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them that it's like, it's not ephedra. It's not what you think. It just doesn't exist. Or nobody has it.
Dendrobium extract. That's one of the biggest bullshit things on labels is dendrobium. Yeah. And like, you know, if you read enough like bullshit articles online, or, you know, company copy or whatever, it says contains some derivative of a PEA alkaloid or some super aggressive stim. You go and look up the actual studies and the bioactives that are in dendrobium extract. They've done lab tests on all these products. they can't find any kind of naturally occurring or synthetically occurring PEAs in there. Like PEA is not a compound that's found in dendrobium extract or the dendrobium plant. So if somebody's telling you it's got PEA alkaloids, they're spiking that shit with something. It's not naturally occurring in the dendrobium at all. So that's something for the listeners to be aware of out there as well. Clark McLean, how many servings of fish a week to avoid taking a supplement? Current health guidelines are 2 to 3 servings a week, and a serving is like 3.5 to 4 ounces of an oily fish, like salmon, mackerel, trout, herring, sardines, anchovies, if you want to go that way too, and anything like that. So
always taking fish oil. I'm sorry.
And there we go. Yeah, does fish oil something provide extra benefits? No, if you're getting enough fish in your diet already and you're getting enough omega-3s, I don't believe supplementing above and beyond that is going to, confer any, super physiological benefit or anything like that. Or it may have a little bit extra anti-inflammatory benefits, possibly, but there's not enough data out there to support that at all.
Do you take fresh fish oil, or do you prefer eating fish?
I actually like fish.
I know Shane's response, but what about you?
I like fish. I mean, I've always got wild Alaskan salmon in the freezer, like the little pre-portioned fillets, and I'll cook those up a couple of times a week. Which this brings me to my next topic, and I'm going to give a shout out to Pete Pazimus for the inspiration for this topic. In a previous podcast, Robbie, you said that you use a fish oil, but only the prescription grade one because of the low qualities of fish oil that's on the market and just how many of them are oxidized or, just really super poor quality. And they actually become pro-inflammatory instead of anti-inflammatory at that point. My question for the panel is, and this is from Pete, do multivitamins, quote unquote, work? Are they effective? What do you think? Do each of you use a multivitamin? And I'll save my thoughts for after we get your input.
Yes.
So Shane, do they work, and what's your classification of them? And you take them, I'm assuming.
I mean, I don't really have much of an idea of whether or not they work. It's kind of like when they say, you should get your blood work checked or your blood pressure. You're never going to feel if those things are like off, but like, that they should be in check. I mean, the only things I've ever really noticed with like multivitamins, especially when I have like good ones, is I guess that the change in flu, like sickness, I won't really get like any kind of sickness. Like, and sometimes I have some of the immune supplements that are like super high dose in those ingredients, and they they kind of help stave off the symptoms a bit. I found like some of those do that, but I mean, I almost know without a doubt I don't get enough vitamins and minerals in my diet. Like, I mean, so I because my diet is, as you said, like oats, chicken, eggs, and protein powder. Strawberries for the morning and a broccoli, a serving or two of broccoli. So I know that there isn't. There are holes in that.
Child eats more than you, man.
Yeah, but see, I know that there are holes in this thing. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's just put a vitamin in there. And I've done that for 15 years. I haven't not taken one.
Gotcha. Lukasz, what about you?
To be honest, not that much. I'm not that big into like multivitamin stuff. I prefer taking like solely ingredients. For example, as we discussed like last week, let's say, from the nootropic standpoint, like Riviola, Sambacopa, those kinds of things. Also like Katka, NAC, I prefer, to build my own stacks. And on top of that, I prefer using more of the greens supplements because I don't like eat that much.
Robert's, he's gonna laugh just as much as me.
I don't like eat that much, vegetables. I like fruits, but as far as like, vegetables, I'm not that much excited when I need to like
vegetables
smash.
Are fucking disgusting.
I need to like, I can. For example, I can eat like 2 kgs of meat easily.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a problem. just give me all different meats. Put me in the Brazilian grill, and I'm not gonna leave for like hours. So that's for sure. But as far as like vegetables, no, I'm with Shane here. You know, they are fucking disgusting. So yeah, man, that's for sure. I think
we're all 12.
I think like in the past or something, I was a vampire or some like I don't know, fucking carnivore or something like this.
No,
like,
nothing wrong with you, Lucas. Vegetables are just fucking disgusting.
I just despise, vegetables. I just like, I can't stand them, and I don't understand why people are like, putting a huge bowl of veggies or like salad and they're like smashing like a fucking rabbit or something. So
I just hate it. The healthy things taste like shit, and the nice things are bad for you.
Yeah. For example, when I'm like breaking my fast, I always like eating like one kg of meat or something, and I'm just like looking at me like, what's the problem with you, man? Where's the veggies? I'm like,
oh, we found a gremlin.
There's Ava. Yeah. So. Yeah,
what you got, Robbie? Do you share Shane and Lucas's enthusiasm for vegetables?
I agree with them 100%. I think vegetables are disgusting. I mean, we're on the same page over here. But from a pure scientific approach, how many times people told us, especially when we were growing up, our parents and everybody, eat your vegetables, eat fruits and vegetables. I mean, the bottom line is fruits are sugar and they crap and they're not that good for you. Most of them. Do they provide vitamins? Yeah, they provide vitamins. But Shane was correct. I mean, even if he doesn't eat vegetables, and even if he was eating vegetables, you cannot get all the vitamins that your body needs or could benefit from throughout the day. Otherwise, you would be so fucking fat that you wouldn't fit anywhere. I mean, it's just the bottom line is it doesn't work. In terms of vitamins, 99% on the market are garbage too. Because if you look at none of us are looking at or at least average consumer doesn't look at at the doses and daily intake and percentage and value and all that. But if you look at it, some of them have 50 milligram of vitamin C. Now, what the fuck is 50 milligram of vitamin C is going to do?
I said 8 milligrams.
There's as little as 8. I think that what Lukasz said was right on the money. I like to take individual things that actually do work, and I guess I can reveal this because Lukasz was the one, I didn't even tell him yet, so surprise. Lukasz was the one who put me on this idea to release sort of an immune system, remember, like for health, a couple of months ago. And Robert was actually helping me with that too. And Lukasz was helping me also by giving me input on certain ingredients that I'm not going to disclose right now. And of course, Marina, who is a pharmacist, she helped to put the whole formula together. But I don't think that we need all those, I've been taking multivitamins just like everybody else my entire life. But at the end of the day, either liver enzymes are a little bit off, or this is a little bit off, or that is a little bit off. And, I've been taking fish oil like everybody else also my entire life pretty much. And the thing is, that shit doesn't work. I mean, now I know for a fact that it doesn't work because you need something that actually works, and that is prescription. There is a reason why, prescription is prescription because it fucking works. And I know that my triglycerides never looked better. Ever since taking Vasipa for the past year, prescription that costs shitload of money, I saw the result of real fish oil. And I don't like fish either. Just like Shane, I'm not a big fan of fish unless it's sushi. So
that's even worse. It's like wrapped in fish food.
So other than that, it doesn't work. But the multivitamins, there was a company that Robert actually recommended. What is it? The one True. There's
a couple of them. So when people come to me for a recommendation on a multi, I'm going to say, all right, so I'll do my rant and then I'll give you the recommendation. So I'll do the recommendations first.
PES, that's the one. That's the one I'm using.
True Multi is a good one.
It's good.
Yeah. Controlled Labs Orange Triad is good.
Yeah.
And the main thing, when you're looking for a multivitamin, you want to make sure it's got the bioactive and the bioavailable forms of the vitamins. So don't get something that's got magnesium oxide in it because that's got 10% bioavailability. It's dog shit. Don't go for cyanocobalamin for the B12. Make sure you're getting methylcobalamin. Go for P5P as the vitamin B6 form. same thing with, anything. If something is bonded to oxide, it's a super shitty low quality form of that mineral. You also don't need super high mega doses of the fat soluble vitamins. You also need to make sure you're consuming a multivitamin either with a meal or with like a fish oil supplement, because those multivitamins have fat soluble nutrients, and in order for your body to efficiently absorb them, you need to have fat somewhere in the GI tract to facilitate the uptake into the bloodstream and whatnot. So the ones that I recommend are Orange Triad, PES is True Multi. I believe NutriBio's Multisport for men is a decent one. I'd have to go back and look at some of the actives, but last time I checked, that was pretty decent. Do I think you need
Jim
to?
Stepani has a nice one too.
Does he? I haven't checked his.
Yeah, it's not bad. But at the end of the day, you know what? They still will not provide you with everything that you absolutely need. And, people rely on them. But also what you just said, I mean...
You know what? I couldn't agree more with that statement. I could not agree more.
100%.
Low carb jokes aside, there's on the money.
Yeah.
I am what I eat. If I eat meat, I'm going to be a big slave of meat.
He's gonna be
There you
meaty.
go.
Yeah, but let's face it. At the end of the day, you know what? Even what you just said, what you shared, how many people do understand how to read labels? I mean, it's complicated. We get away. I mean, the industry is getting away with putting out garbage protein. I mean, garbage protein left and right. Everybody when they judge protein right now, all the review channels and everybody, they go for the taste. I mean, some of them break down the supplement facts on a pre-workout, but when it comes to protein, this tastes amazing. This tastes amazing. This tastes amazing. How many people read and how many people actually know that, your protein actually contains only 20% protein. The rest is just good tasting garbage. That's what you're consuming. Might as well go and have McDonald's. You'll enjoy it more. But the same thing is with
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but with vitamins, it's exactly the same thing. Not many people know the difference between different vitamins B's. Not everybody knows, that you're supposed to eat it with fats to absorb. People just don't know. And most of the time when it comes to multivitamins, people still go for the cost. And they buy cheap shit that doesn't work at all, because Controlled Labs is not cheap. It's a good product, but it's not cheap.
Yeah, I will agree with you that the Orange Triad is probably one of the best out there.
Yeah,
especially,
and it's been around for years and still one of the best.
Yeah, especially in Europe, it's one of our top sellers. That's what I can tell you straight away. But in my opinion, people's biggest mistake is that when they are like buying, for example, multivitamin, and every producer or every manufacturer of the multivitamins is building the formula, in general. In my opinion, that's a big mistake, because, for example, every person is individual. So every person needs something different. For example, Eurobic need maybe a bit more vitamin Bs. Shane maybe needs some more magnesium. So what I would do is to build your own stack.
Yeah.
For example, I would go to, for example, a brand like Now Foods. They got a huge SKU list, and you can, for example, build your own multivitamin. For example, you need just let's say 4 multivitamins. Let's say you need some calcium, you need some magnesium, maybe you need some vitamin D, and maybe some omegas. You buy those 4, you build your own stack. The quality of the ingredients. The form, especially of the each vitamin, and that's how you have the effective stack. But when you're buying, for example, already mixed multivitamin that you have, for example, like a huge list of the ingredients, and you have 8 milligrams of vitamin C, per serving, then it's like a fucking bullshit, man. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely.
I might do that for something.
So what I would do, build your own stack, focus on your own preferences and your own needs.
Absolutely. You know what? I go right now, and I used to go to a doctor just like everybody else and get bullshit. The past 2 years, I've been going to a doctor who actually, we do blood work twice a year, and we sit down, and there's going to be like fucking 5 or 6 pages, and it takes us about 40-45 minutes to go through each problem or issue, deficient in vitamin D, or deficiency in this or deficiency in that. And you're absolutely right, we all different. Some of us, like, for example, last time I went, I think I was deficient in vitamin D. even though I was taking 5,000 IUs, which is quite a bit. But again, everybody's different. So we upped it up to twice a week to 10,000 IUs, and the rest we maintain at 5. And, the next blood work came perfect. Liver enzymes were slightly elevated, started taking Totka, and all of a sudden, levels are perfect. Same with triglycerides and fats and stuff like that. So you're absolutely right. We all different ages, different genders, different everything. So just put a bunch of stuff into it and 5% of daily value, it's not going to work. And, and what Robert said, like a lot of people don't know how to read them. So, I'm taking multivitamin, I'm good to go. No, you're not. And, it's just, it makes perfect sense, actually, what you said. You can build your own. The problem is when you buy different ingredients to build your own, the problem is, and we're not talking about immune system where we know what helps the immune system. We're talking about vitamins and minerals. That your body is possibly and most likely deficient. The problem is people don't want to spend money, because if you buy everything separate, obviously it's going to cost you quite a bit. You can go to a store here and buy Centrum, which is crap, for what, like $5? What's the cost of it? $1? Probably less. And people, Centrum is probably selling like nothing else, but it contains nothing. So now you're telling an average person, buy multivitamins, they're not going to listen to you, even though you're 100% right. I couldn't agree more. Because your approach, even though it's going to be more health beneficial, it's definitely also, it's going to cost more. They're going to go with a cheaper version and they're going to be satisfied. It's like a placebo effect. All of a sudden, I'm using multivitamins, I'm good to go.
Yeah, man, but it's like the exactly same thing, or like an analogy. You take vegetables or you take meat. It's simple choice. You need to like spend a bit more just to get more. That's what I'm always preaching. If you want like a Ferrari and you need to perform good, you need to good quality sources of the ingredients. It's like you're buying like let's say Ferrari and you put in like the cheapest fuel possible. It doesn't make any sense, man. So in my opinion, you need to like spend a bit more. But you made a great point with the Centrum, because here I'm seeing like all different kinds of shit. People like buying those cheap ass like multivitamins. It's like, it's ridiculous. Just like, I just want a multivitamin. Just give me what you have, the cheapest version. And it's like, man, just doesn't make any sense.
Well, very well, for example, protein bars, right? We call them protein bars, but let's face it, most of them are shit in terms of quality, in terms of how much sugar they contain and stuff like that. We're still talking, when it comes to protein bars, what do we talk about? We talk about taste. Even though most of them, today protein bars taste a lot better than 10 or 20 years ago. Some of them actually pretty delicious, but at the end of the day, they're not really healthy for you. Just like a bodybuilding lifestyle, today I actually watched on YouTube about bodybuilders dying and how many died. And, this is, and always like, and then I watched somebody doing live on Instagram and talking about how healthy, how healthy she is. She has a deep voice. She's ripped to the bone. She looks manly. And like I said, I'm actually a fan of women's bodybuilding. But this lady, she said that she is healthy and she is, and she wants to look healthy. You don't look healthy. There is a difference between looking healthy and looking muscular. I saw today a picture of, everybody probably knows Nasser El-Sonbadi, who was one of the top bodybuilders in the 90s. And I saw him actually in a hospital. There was a picture of him in a hospital, after his bodybuilding career. And he looked just like an average chubby guy with, not much in terms of muscles, just look average. And we know that he died. So at the end of the day, it's not healthy. The lifestyle of eating bodybuilding types of foods, it's not healthy. The protein bars, most of them, again, I almost want to say all of them, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say most of them are not healthy. But what do people hear when they say, when they talk about these bars? The first thing they say, well, I'm just going to have a protein bar. It's almost like justifying that they're doing something healthy, something good. They're almost proud of it. You know, even though the protein bar is probably not that far from Kit Kat or Snickers or something like that, it's pretty much very, very close. And they have, I know a guy at the gym, comes to the gym and takes 3 or 4 bars at the time. In one time, he takes 3 or 4 bars. And, you know, I look at it like, okay, I mean, you know, you're talking about losing weight and getting in shape, but that's definitely not the way to do it. I mean, okay, well, we'll sell it to you. I mean, it's business. But at the end of the day, people just don't know. Or even if they do know, they think, just like you said about multivitamin, garbage multivitamin. I'm taking multivitamins. I'm good to go. I'm drinking protein shake. Yeah, my protein shake says it has 25 grams per serving, even though it actually has probably 5 grams. But, you know, I'm drinking a protein shake because it's cheap. I get 5 pounds for $25, and I'm good to go. You know, there's just a difference how far people are willing to go to actually improve their health. And, you know, we know for a fact that, you know, it costs money. To lead a healthy lifestyle, it's going to cost money. It's not cheap, and you can't like save because just you're buying multivitamin. Might as well not buy them at all because you're not getting anything from them.
Yeah, and I'll on a closing note, and we can move on to the next topic from this. It's one thing that I in defense of multivitamins, people say a lot of times they don't work, and I'm thinking, my thing is that you're not buying this to cure cancer, cure heart disease, or anything. That's not what multivitamins exist for. So if you're looking at it in that context, that's not what it's there for. It's there to fill in any gaps in your nutrition. So if you're eating a well-rounded diet, or if you're just eating, you know, just meat like Shane, it's there to kind of fill in any gaps that you may be missing.
I have eggs as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. And for, you know, for all the listeners out there, meat and eggs are like some of the most micronutrient dense stuff. The only thing that might be a little bit lacking is stuff like vitamin C, but you can get most of all of the other essential vitamins and minerals you get from meat. If you eat things like liver, kidneys, and some of the other offal or, you know, the organs, stuff like that, you can get vitamin C that way from just animal products. But there's a misconception, I think, with multivitamins that they're some kind of panacea for just a shitty lifestyle. And that's not what they are. They were never intended to be that way. It's just, it's there. It's like an insurance policy. It's there just in case on a given day you can't consume enough B vitamins, or you might be low in magnesium, or the food you're eating isn't as micronutrient rich as you would think it would be. And then where was the other question? Multivitamins have too much of some things. Typically not. Typically you'd get vitamin toxicity just from overdosing on multivitamins. So you're taking like 3 servings in a day, and that's when the fat soluble nutrients like your A, D, E, and K, or some of the trace minerals and some of the metals that are in there could become, you know, approach levels of toxicity. But you'd have to do something really, you know, stupid and take like 3 or 5 servings of a multivitamin in a day. So yeah, don't do that. Just follow the dosing directions. Yeah. And then Shane, have you ever actually thought about, given your love of vegetables, have you ever thought about just doing the carnivore diet?
Was that just meat?
Yeah, it's basically just all animal products. So I mean, I guess you can throw dairy in there too, like milk, yogurt, eggs.
I think Joe Rogan did that for a month.
Yeah.
Mark Bell is also. I don't really know what the label would be. I just go, if something makes me feel shitty, I stop it. If it makes me feel good, I do more of it. Just go with the flow. So but the vitamins just, like I said, I just do. Although what Lukasz said about having them separate and stacking them, I could not be fucking bothered doing that. I can tell you right now. I could not be bothered ordering all these things separately and being like, or nor could I remember the amount of pills. I have to sometimes turn them out and be like, okay, those are 3 servings. Bro. Fuck that noise.
I got so much pills that
there we go.
Yeah, no, I would just be like, how many of this is it again? I'll just forget. In fact, actually though, as you're saying, my last multivitamin, or the one I'm on now, is Oxy Mega with Orange Triad. So it's the controlled stack. And then I have some of that left over, and then I have the Ghost Multi and the NutriBio Active Extreme one, the multi-sport. So yeah, pretty much those 2 you mentioned are the 2 I have right now.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned the Ghost one is cool. The new Cage Muscle one looks intriguing, and the Glaxon one does too.
Glaxon one's good. I can have that one soon. I think I typically buy my shit like annual supply though.
Yeah. Is blending a chicken breast and drinking it hurt digestion?
I heard about this. Is this a thing?
Yeah, I heard about it too, but I don't think I would try it.
Have you ever tried something like this?
No.
Wait,
No, I
mean,
thought
what are
it
you
was a
doing? You just
joke.
put water and you blend a chicken breast in there and you drink it?
For the love of God.
Yeah. Basically, you're making it like a shake. Yeah, water and chicken.
No,
But what's
I mean
the
you're
point?
just
What's the
you're
point of-
pre-digesting it. You're pre-digesting it to a certain extent by mechanically breaking it down. So you're taking away some of the work that your mouth would do.
Is there an
with
issue
the-
with eating
with the
chicken that's
blender.
not cooked?
No, I'm assuming
No,
it's
it is
No,
cooked.
it's
It is
cooked.
chicken breast.
It's cooked. It's cooked.
Oh, it is. Here's that. Okay, here.
Yeah.
Here's me thinking he's
Cooked
just
and you
blending it
simply
raw.
blend it, you know?
Yeah,
I
no,
had-
this
my
does
friend-
not hurt digestion or absorption at all. If anything, it would. I think it may reduce satiety a little bit, just because we have pretty good data in the research showing that liquid meals are less satiating and a little bit faster digesting than whole foods. So obviously, you're going to get certain satiety cues that start, like the digestion starts in your mouth. The act of chewing is going to start the digestion process. It's going to take longer to eat that way. It's going to take longer to go through your GI tract if you're eating solid foods. Than if you're drinking those calories. So if you're like in a cutting phase, I wouldn't recommend doing this. If you're in a bulking phase where you're having trouble getting in enough calories and quality foods and all that, then yeah, you can start blending up your food. But I don't think you could pay me enough to drink chicken and water together. I mean, it's not. It's just gonna taste disgusting.
Then what's the fucking point of it, man?
Yeah, go with a whey protein shake at that point.
No,
Well, you
I
know-
see some-
It's
I
like
see
the joy of your life, so I don't get it, man.
I see these things like when people bring things up, like when they say, "Oh, is blending chicken meant to be more this way than that way?" It's always there's these things that are like, I understand why you do them because like, oh, it could help you build more muscle or it could help you do this and that. But I'm like, these things are would make such a small difference.
It
But they
makes no
would.
fucking difference.
I think the only difference it would
It's
make
like-
is disgusting.
Sorry, Robert, to
There
interrupt.
is
but-
no other difference. It's shit.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
like,
that-
Where do you put your sauce? Do you put it in with
There was a guy who actually posted on YouTube that he made a shake. I mean, it wasn't even a chicken, but still, I looked at the shake and I was like, there is no fucking money in the world that I would fucking drink this shit. It was milk mixed with whey protein, spinach, avocado, celery, beets, and I think oatmeal and some sweet potato and shit like that. I'm like, just look at
stop.
and peanut butter. And peanut butter, of course.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, fuck you! Like after all I just said, that list.
It might blank it out. You don't know.
Would you try it?
Hell no. Celery.
Yeah. So there was other stuff, spinach and kale, and there was like a lot of salad. There was cucumber in it too. It's just like I think people are taking it to the next level and they're forgetting about fucking basics. Shakes are there to drink shakes, like normal fucking human being shake. I'm okay with drinking, like, adding maybe oatmeal to it. I'm okay with that, no problem. But at the end of the day, I mean, fuck, food is meant to be eaten and shakes are meant to be drank. Just drink your shakes and eat your food. That's it. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't come up with new strategies or anything like that. It's just, there's no need for it.
Celery is one of the worst vegetables in the world, by the way.
Oh, yeah, man.
My mum puts it. She has a Christmas salad that she does every Christmas. She does this pasta with chicken, egg, and bits of bacon. It's phenomenal, and there's a bit of mayonnaise. It's the best. But then she puts fucking celery in there, and every Christmas I'm like, why do you do this? I'm the only one who fucking eats it, and I have to sit there picking out the celery for like half an hour. You ruin it with celery, and there's no one sitting there going, where's that pasta salad? I really like the celery. No one likes fucking celery.
The funny thing is that people do say I like celery, and I'm sure they're lying. 100%. They have to be lying.
They're lying. Again, like, I understand by itself, cool. You know what? I would prefer if she made it like, how in those restaurants in the US where you guys have they put the pickle on top or something like that. Yeah, man, do that with every vegetable. Just put it on top or on the side. That way I can be like, fine, thank you. Get rid of it. Or just ask me to take it.
Have you ever seen a scene like when you're sitting in a restaurant and you're eating this nice, juicy hamburger and you're really enjoying it? Like, there is no faking it. You're actually enjoying it. And there is a person at the next table staring at you eating a burger, but he is eating a salad, or she, and seemingly putting an act that he or she is enjoying it. Like, it's delicious, and eating it, with such aggression, like you're eating a burger. And yet you want nothing of that, but she clearly, or he, enjoys looking at your burger. And it's like, I've seen those things a million times, and people say, I enjoy salad. I'm not saying they don't enjoy salad, but everybody who's eating salad, they say they enjoy it, where I'm pretty sure that a huge percentage of them actually don't. And my favorite phrase, it's good for you. The fuck is good for me? I mean,
I think you can enjoy salad, but
but there is a but.
Way better. See, if I'm actually chowing down a burger though, and I'm caught up in it, like you're saying, like that focus, nothing else is in the room. Nothing else is in the room except maybe my glass of soda. That's it. I couldn't care if the whole room's looking at me.
Well, imagine you're going to a restaurant and you enjoy and you're actually ordering a burger. In that particular restaurant, burger comes with a salad on the side, which you're not aware of. And if you
don't see the salad.
Well, what are the chances of you, if you're full, leaving burger and finishing the salad?
No one ever does that. And I always ask for a side of fries. Why would I be asking for a salad?
I'm one of those weird people. I very much enjoy salads, but my salad is usually like, it's got a huge bowl. Like I ate a massive salad every night for dinner. So it's like between 6 to 9 ounces of lettuce, like usually romaine and iceberg. I've got roasted zucchini on there, roasted carrots, roasted onions and tomatoes. I'll put on there, roasted bell pepper. And then I'll put on like 2 hard-boiled eggs, 1.5 ounces of blue cheese, some Greek yogurt to make like a creamy dressing, balsamic vinegar. And then sometimes if I'm out, I'll get like the burger patty on the salad every now and then. So it's like a blue cheese stuffed burger with bacon. It's so good.
You lost me on salad.
Don't shit on the patty. Don't call it a burger patty if you're just going to put it. You're not using it for its intended purpose. It's no longer a burger patty. It's just a little circle of meat.
You know what's my salad?
Well, I mean, I love burgers. I love burgers just as much as everybody. But that was my one favorite food as a child was a burger. No fucking vegetables on it. Like I've come full circle. So when I was a kid, my favorite food groups were burgers with just bun, ketchup, and meat. No cheese, no lettuce, mayonnaise, mustard, anything like it. Meat, ketchup, bun. That was it. French fries, chicken fingers, pepperoni pizza or cheese pizza. I didn't like grilled cheese, which was kind of weird. That's usually like a kid food everybody likes, but no. Macaroni and cheese, but just the Kraft macaroni and cheese.
How are you not 300 pounds right now?
I was very physically active. Taekwondo and a marching band helped burn a lot of calories.
Oh, yeah, that marching band.
There we go, man. Hey, sweating 2 hours of marching around in 95-degree weather in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, man.
Will make you sweat off a whole shitload of calories. Moving away from the nonsensical topics. Thoughts on 4-gauge pre-workout? It's always in the top 10s. Well, a lot of these top 10 sites or these best pre-workout sites are just marketing affiliate sites or like micro sites that the brands or some other kind of seller affiliate will create, and it's a bullshit top 10 list. That being said,
I don't remember it.
I'll pull up the supplement facts, and we can.
Pretty sure I've seen this, and it doesn't stand even remotely in my. Wouldn't even look like it would make my top 10.
Yeah. All right. So 8 ingredients in 4-gauge. Here's their website. So anytime a site doesn't give you the supplement facts immediately off the bat, I'm extremely skeptical.
I think it's just I think it's sort of like an outlift or pre-gym approach, isn't it? It's just like a big full dose of most things.
You need to like scroll it down like for half an hour just to get the ingredient profile.
Yeah. So
Lukasz just saw 150 milligrams of caffeine, and he goes, "I had it when I was a baby."
Lukasz is thinking of. Let's give you a sleep aid tonight, Lukasz.
Yeah, it's like 150 milligrams for me. It's like a sleep aid.
Yeah, so we got 150 caffeine, so 200 theanine.
Oh, you're definitely going to sleep.
Some sexy marketing lingo about caffeine and theanine in combination.
Especially with the beets.
Oh, no.
Oh, please, come on.
Rhodiola, 100 milligrams. Wow.
Yeah, 6 grams of citrulline malate. Okay, so this is
That's
fine.
Not bad.
That's the quality dose. Red beet is another garbage ingredient because the polyphenol and the nitrate content of that is 5% or less, so it's really just marketing. And this is correct. Studies showing beetroot juice significantly increases plasma nitrate. Yes, it does, but red beet extract has such a paltry amount of actual nitrates in it. You're gonna get fuck all of nothing from it. Super low dose of this, and they don't tell you the standardization. 500 milligrams. I'd prefer 1 to 2 grams. We get Shane, as opposed to your lightly dosed, we have a generous
dosage. I like the wording on that one.
Coconut water powder, 300 milligrams, and
that's about it.
Exhaustively researched pre-workout. It's dog shit.
That's all, folks.
Wait. See. I look at that, and I would say, while those dosages are few and far between, I would 2-scoop the shit out of that. Because that 2 scoops, that's a beast. That's 12 grams essentially.
So it's like 150 milligrams per scoop or per 2 scoops.
Yes, but that's the thing. Like at the regular dose, that's actually not that. It's pretty. I would barely say average. But if you were to double that, now you got something on your hands. I mean, it's still 2 grams of monohydrate, but it's like gram of acetyl, 300 milligrams of caffeine, 12 grams essentially malate. I feel like 2 scoops would be a good time on that one.
I think 400 milligrams of L-theanine. I'm thinking at that point,
that's it. Yeah, it's 400 versus 300 of caffeine. It's not going to do shit.
Risky for the biscuit, man.
But
risky for the biscuit.
The pump would be good. The pump would be pretty good.
You would
be crawling while you're sleeping, but it would be good.
You would sleep with the pump.
Why would it be better at that 2 scoop than that 1 scoop? Because that 1 scoop, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it would on paper at least. I don't think it would do a whole lot to me.
And we talked about like more of a hardcore and average job pre-workouts. I mean, I would not put this in the top 20 average job pre-workout. I mean, I think it's badly formulated.
What's the price on it? How much was it?
$40 probably.
Hold on.
35, $34.99.
Order now.
Or 2 tubs for $60.
There we go.
Sound? When you click on order now, you hear like the shooting.
What?
Holy shit! I want you to buy 4 tubs.
I was actually $35.
I was not too far off with 35.
Yeah.
$135 for
31.25. It's not bad. We have to buy 4.
How many servings?
Oh, here we go. 2 for $45. Oh no, not for $45.
1 for $45. There we go.
Dear Jesus.
Damn.
Is there 100 servings in a tub?
Better be.
I don't know. It's not telling me anything.
I'm on
20 servings. There we go.
Oh, no. I'm 20.
Shane, I guess you need to review it.
No, because then I'm going to have that means I have to try it. And then I have to
That would be so
week.
much fun, man.
No, it would not. I would rather eat vegetables.
Wow.
Salmon on top.
You would smash 2 in 1 because you have the beats out there. Yeah, man.
Again, if it's a moderate looking pre-workout or a generously looking maybe I'll give it a go, because there's always the outside factor that it may actually be pretty good. But I don't really want to, if it doesn't look good on like paper or even mildly good, I don't want to really waste a workout, a week of workouts. I need to perform, man. I still need to make gains. Feel for the reviewer, man.
Now, I have something for you that I actually saved. I looked into this, so I'm going to keep a straight face. I'm not going to say anything, but I especially Shane, I want to see Shane's reaction.
Wait. Can you give us context, or are you just going to come out and say it?
No, I'm going to say it. Like, listen, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you do the talking. I didn't say nothing yet. Okay, Shane, this is specifically for you. So shut up. So the name of the pre-workout is Game Changer.
Wow.
This is actual name of the pre-workout.
But
okay, now the Game Changer has BCAAs.
Wait, who's it from?
The company name is Fusion. They have.
Oh, is this Fusion out in Canada?
I have no idea. I have
Just
no idea.
fusion, or there is some.
Yeah.
Some
No, it says Fusion Muscle Performance.
Is it a white tub?
Yes.
Yeah. This came out ages ago. If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
I just like the name, Game Changer.
This one, though, to their credit, it's
It's intra workout. Sorry, this one is intra workout, but the pre workout is actually very, very interesting too. Have a look at it. But I just love the name, Game Changer. And another thing is that it proudly says 36 scoops. 36 scoops. Now, if you look at the doses,
though, isn't it?
but you actually have to take 2 scoops.
Yeah.
So it's 18 servings. I mean, you can look at it yourself. It's a lot of vitamins. But the name Game Changer, I kind of like it definitely got my attention for sure. The pre-workout is interesting too. I just didn't save it for some reason.
Yeah, see, when they launched that was specifically launched at the it was at like a major sports retailer, Sport Check in Canada. I guess kind of like I don't know.
Oh, it's a Canadian company?
Yeah, Canadian company. Okay. So they launched this. I thought the same thing, and then when they kind of said it was going to be exclusive to like Sport Check, which I guess is similar to like your Champs or like Foot Locker or something like that, or like just a major sports market. I didn't expect much. I guess it made me think that it was going to be for like a Walmart type thing. So they were probably going to be focusing more on, I guess, cost-conscious market. But yeah, it's a I mean, I didn't expect this mind-blowing. Didn't expect a game-changing formula, that's for sure. But they called it. It was an amino. Straight away. I was like, okay. I mean, if you're doing an amino, unless you're coming up with amino I haven't heard of or don't know about, it's probably not going to be game-changing.
Well, and another thing that actually popped on my feed was Caged Muscle. Latest advertising for the pre-cage sport, the game-changing pre-workout, and I liked how they described it. That definitely actually it stood out. Finally, a pre-workout for athletes is here.
Wait, is this like? I mean, it's not. To be honest, I don't mind that. I feel that's better than Game Changer.
So it's basically I'm out, right?
Yeah, I mean it's
not for me.
It's I would prefer that thing. I mean, you see that from most companies, though. I guess. I mean, I'd prefer that than Game Changer. But
Yeah,
at least I guess
they didn't use Game Changer in describing the product, but they did say that Pre-Cage Sport is the pre-workout formulated with scientifically tested ingredients to enhance your performance.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not wrong there. I mean,
technically, I'm pretty sure because they didn't say that it's a game changer. I didn't see none. At least I didn't see it here. It's just my thing is that the original pre-cage, the pre-workout, I actually liked.
I didn't think that was that bad.
I thought it was a decent. It was kind of on the same level, I think, as Jim Stefani. So
Outlift.
Outlift, yeah, by Nutrix. So it was. Yeah. I thought it was a very good pre-workout. It's just like, definitely like I see that what you're saying. They're not using game changing right now, at least not in the advertising. So yeah, this is acceptable to a degree, and I like.
I think the part when they say finally, like there wasn't a pre-workout for athletes before this, except there was pre-caged. You know, it's. I mean, you're only really slapping yourself a bit, aren't you?
Yeah. Like
saying that then because people who are athletes might be like, okay, so I shouldn't have been taking pre-cage. What's going on here?
Now, let me ask you something. Do you think it's possible that they're trying to phase out that formula and replace it with this one?
I sure as fuck hope not.
Well, that's, because they obviously promoting this as the elite one, and obviously it's a lot less.
No.
It's a lot less.
They wouldn't.
You don't think so?
No, because Cage is a premium brand, and pre-cage was one of the first 3 that they ever came out with. They did pre-caged, recaged, and encaged. So they had like a full workout. So they haven't dropped recaged, despite the fact that they've done a protein powder, which was kind of what recaged was mostly about. So they started as a premium brand. If they dropped pre-caged in the most important category in supplements, they would lose their premium tag. Because then you don't need encaged anymore. Then you don't need recaged. I don't imagine them dropping pre-caged. If they did, I would be extremely surprised. Because again, it is kind of like it's almost like an ambassador who goes from one brand to the next. Like, this is the best brand ever. You definitely go try their pre-workout. And then they get fired and go to another brand. No, actually, this is the best pre-workout. Then you do it again. Then you start losing your credibility. Chris Gethin and Caged really built the supplement line around that re-caged and caged and pre-caged. So if he were to drop one of those after making people believe in the line so much, I mean, I would have to imagine people who have taken pre-caged for this long would probably be a bit disappointed. And and then you wouldn't be a premium brand. You've only got $20 pre-workout in your lineup. That's not a good measure.
Do you think they're trying to appeal to new market, to new customers? Because I can't see, just based on what you said, I can't see anyone replacing that product with this product.
I think
people that are stim sensitive, maybe.
I think athletes who are like stim sensitive and new to pre-workouts, if I'm a newcomer and I'm like, or I've tried the odd pre-workouts, like, no, pre-workout's a bit too much for me, or someone's tried pre-cage and thought it was too intense or whatever, and then they saw that ad, that would speak to them. They would be like, finally, a pre-workout. And then they'll look at it and be like, okay. Like, in the marketing kind of hints that it's more geared towards a lighter athlete performance. Not for me, but I think that it could easily appeal to people who are looking for that product. So they've done a good job at, the right wording to get the people, but I don't know. I don't see them dropping it. I would be extremely surprised.
Hey, but don't you think that's kind of like a bullshit when you're categorize people to like, okay, let's have like a 50% athlete and 100% athlete? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, no, because see, my wife, she just started pre-workouts like after 2 years. She stopped them when she got pregnant and didn't have them until like stopped breastfeeding. So she had her first one. So she had Game Day from Man Sports, and she did about just over half the serving. Mm-hmm. I had the double. She described the exact experience I had, the exact experience. And then I was just like, it's just because you're a sissy. It's just because you started out, right? So then she had Devastator of the Union. She had half the serving again. She came back. She's like, that's as hard hitting as adrenaline from back in the day from DMAA. And I was like, that's what I thought. But she had half. So, and I've always been that if someone came to me and said, dude, I was throwing up on that pre-workout, how did you handle it? Or if they said, I had a workout just as good as you, but I had half the dose, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to disagree with them because I think it's entirely possible that they did. Just as Nikki described the exact same effects that I had, but she had half the amount. She's not half my weight, but it's entirely believable that someone out there, I still, as much as I'm not a big fan of pre-cage sport, like personally, I can see the point. A $20 pre-workout and lighter dosages, I think it could definitely appeal to some. Again, and some people who don't want to invest $40, perfect. It's not for me, probably not for you, but I just don't like seeing it when things aren't promoted as what they are. Like how they said, finally a pre-workout for athletes. I'm like, well, I thought that's what pre-caged was, or game changer, when they never really said that about pre-caged, if I don't remember.
Yeah, that's
so
point.
I feel like I guess they're trying to appeal to an audience, but it's going to seem a little bit off to someone who takes pre-caged. But
in my opinion, it's like going backwards, especially when you're launching like, pre-caged, which is like really nicely loaded with all the ingredients, and the profile is pretty nice. And for example, if you don't like, you can't handle, let's say, like the entire scoop, you can always take a half a scoop, and you still will have, in my opinion, a decent workout on a pre-cage. But when you are launching, let's say, you're building this anticipation for this amazing product, and you are saying, oh, a new game changer is coming, we're going to use so much novel ingredients.
Yeah.
And then you get this like this cat in the bag, I would say. It's like, doesn't make any sense to me, I think it's like going backwards, and that like improving your portfolio, and like it's. But I just don't understand this.
I reckon a name like Pre-Cage Light would have been nicer. I guess Pre-Cage Sport, but then again, that's what C4 did with C4 Sport. So I guess it can't really knock them on that. But it's
Shane, remember you said once on one of our podcasts, you said that if Apollon released something light or something off, that would be the reaction wouldn't be overwhelmingly positive. And I remember you said that. So and I think like Apollon has a certain following, right? Let's call it that. And then you have Man Sports has I believe completely different following. And then let's say Cage Muscle, they have day following, whatever it is, but they have day following. And I know you already know where I'm going with this. Does it make sense to release a pre-workout that is 50% of what they have? Do you think it applies to them same as it would apply to Apollon, or not really?
No, I would say that your audience is more hardcore. I feel like that's pretty obvious. I mean, you're sitting here talking with a group of guys who know about supplements. Like that makes sense. You're hardcore. You're further away from a mainstream audience. Cellucor has the range to dip into a lower, more entry-level pre-workout. Muscle Tech has the ability to do that. EVL, these are brands that are found at like bodybuilding.com, Walmart. They're giants. They're found in many different places. You're found in specialty supplement retailers.
What about
so
Cage?
The likelihood? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Caged, I feel like it's closer to mainstream. This didn't seem too out of character for me. It fits with their line. They do, like, again, their pre-workout wasn't 0.5 gram of caffeine. It kind of seemed fitting. I was only really disappointed with them calling it a game changer, but like, it's fitting for them. In my mind, kind of like if BSN did it, Optimum did it. It's that kind of gym. If he did it as well, I wouldn't be too surprised. Because I feel he could easily come out, and although I think he would do it the right way, and say, look, hey, if you feel like, because he brought out natural flavors for the same reason. People were saying, what about this and what about that? And he's like, okay, so I've done a natural version with natural flavors and blah, 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 because people were asking for it. So I feel like if he were to do a light version, he's probably had comments saying, hey, do you have a slightly lighter, maybe half the caffeine, half the stims? And he would educate people and tell them that I feel like he would dose everything the same and just lower the caffeine and stims. But I feel it's not too out of character for Cage, in my opinion. They're not that hardcore. They're more like, even if Nutrix did it, wouldn't seem too out of character for them either. But if you did it, I think everyone would probably be like, the fuck you doing? This like a... But then even you wouldn't be able to put one out there and call it a game changer. You'd still call it like a value option or like an entry. You'd probably make a whole separate brand. You just be tough to associate with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just like you said right now, our group over here, obviously we know supplements, and all four of us are in the supplement game. But what about the consumer? The consumer, when he gets a certain pre-workout, you still have to, and I agree with what you said about Jim. Jim would go and actually educate the consumer.
Yeah, I feel he would.
Like him or hate him, the guy actually, he sits down and he explains every ingredient and what it does, etc., and the whole point is that, not to call it a game changer if it's not, but, do you think that mainstream brands they don't have the same level of responsibility as the smaller brands or more transparent brands? Because look, if a consumer right now who is buying Caged or buying Cellucor or something like that listens to you right now or listens to our podcast right now, and you basically maybe indirectly telling them like, guys, you were not told and not explained what you're buying, and the difference between different pre-workouts, and this is called game changer, but in reality it's not. That's where I'm getting at, is like, how does the consumer differentiate between somebody like Jim, who educates and explains in detail, and I would say even being honest, and then the mainstream company that releases 2 pre-workouts and says each pre-workout they release is a game changer, even though they're completely different and there is nothing game changing about it. That's the issue.
Yeah, I feel it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, you can't unconfidently release a mainstream pre-workout. You can't be like, this is just a light version, this is just this, and it's targeted at new entry market. You can't, because then the new consumer who's looking at pre-workouts for the first time isn't going to be like, this seems underwhelming. Why the hell would I bother with this? So they have to hype it. They have to excite. If it's I can't even imagine how difficult it would be to bring in a consumer who knows absolutely nothing about pre-workouts, and you're at Walmart, right? They stumble in the vitamin section. They see a pre-workout. There's 5 or 6 of them there, and you got to stand out against other people, and you have to appeal to someone who isn't looking for citrulline dosages of full creatine. They're looking for something obvious and straightforward. But to appeal to that kind of person, you have to ignore us. You have to sit there and put out things that me and you are going to be like, well, that's like whatever. But that's because we've been around the block. We know what we're in for, and we know what we're looking at. They couldn't say, hey, here's half a dose of creatine, here's 3 grams of citrulline, because then the new consumer is going to be, this is too complicated, and I don't understand this, and it's just dumb. So I feel like to promote to a new audience and a mainstream audience the best way they can, you have to almost ignore us. And then when people come into the world, and they'll be like, oh, cool, this is pre-cage sport. I didn't mind it. Oh, they got a more premium version. I'll try that. Then they learn, because Cage does do a good job at educating on ingredients on his website. So they'll be like, oh, so this is why I have good pumps. This is why I have energy. Then they may end up looking at another brand who has similar, and so on. But to get someone in who's never touched a supplement before, as Lukasz said, oh, why don't you just take half the amount of a top one? Because again, you would then have to be promoting, hey, this is hardcore, but if you have half, it's the new person's going to be like, I don't know, why would you buy something to use at half speed? You would feel like you're getting over your head with anything. So I feel it's a hard thing to do. To us, it definitely is subpar, but I feel like to appeal to new audiences in mainstream audiences, it's a difficult line to walk. That's why I appreciate that a lot of companies put together separate supplements, completely separate supplements, and they sell them to them. Like C4 Sport was really only in Walmart, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And then it was on their site. They understand that, and how MuscleTech had lines for GNC, a line for bodybuilding.com, lines for, they had one for Amazon. They put these things together for specific audiences. But if the other audience sees it, they're not going to understand it and may just think it doesn't make sense. So, I mean, I understand how as an advanced user, though, a new pre-workout would be this is just underdosed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I can understand the risk versus reward, because while you are, I guess, alienating or pretending one side of the industry doesn't exist, you've laid out a perfect message for new people to come in, and you just get them in. Now you've got pre-caged, recaged, in-cage, protein, everything changes. But I say you have to ignore some people to bring the new people in. But again, I like how they do it with separate supplements rather than rebrand pre-caged as a light and fluffy whatever. They did pre-caged sport, C4 Sport. But yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things to do. Get someone to take supplements who isn't looking for supplements. That's got to be extremely difficult. But yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Don't know if that makes sense.
Shane, any news on any updates since the initial story on Ghost Pump V2?
None yet. I still know what I know, but it's not much point in saying anything because again, it's not the whole picture.
Pillow, when is a keratin supplement worth it? If you lost a toenail, is that because you dropped something on your toenail, maybe, or you had something? I mean, they don't really make keratin supplements per se. If you smash your finger in the door or something, your nails start to get that little ring right there, and eventually it'll fall off or something. So did you drop a weight plate on your toe or something, or jam it in a door, or kick the knife?
His face was like his head just turned a little further and further.
As far as a keratin supplement, I mean, they make official keratin treatments. You can go to a salon or a doctor's office, but from a supplement standpoint, I think you're probably best served by looking for a collagen supplement, collagen peptides, and getting some extra vitamin C and vitamin biotin as well, some B vitamins.
What nails are good? Do they just grow back?
Yeah, I mean, it grow back. I mean, you could accelerate the process, or support the you can't make any claims. Support the process of nail growth by using a collagen supplement, either UC2 and or collagen peptides. Some hydrolyzed collagen would be good. Biotin as well, since that's involved with keratin production, and vitamin
your toenails
C.
are they're like Wolverine. They just heal.
You grow back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta add to it. If you're gonna drink a lots of bone broth, your nails gonna be super dense and super hard. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, it's got gelatin in it, which is basically what hydrolyzed collagen is. Yeah.
Lucas's weekly quick tip. Do you want hard, dense, tough nails?
Man,
Game-changing nails, the kind of nails that turn heads, make you the envy of everyone in the room.
Robic, we got a nice another new product from Apollon.
Just call it hard, dense, and toned, and then asterisk nails.
You're welcome, Chapilla, man. Thanks for the question. That was a good one. We haven't had a keratin supplement question. So, gents, we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. Do we want to do some quick hits with Shane, or do y'all need to depart?
No, let's do it.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Okay, I got one. I've thought about this one for you, Robic. I've got it structured, and I've got the concept in mind, so it should be pretty easy to. So Redcon 1 announced its Halloween edition flavor of Total War. It's called Zombie Blood, but in typical Redcon 1 style. They have revamped the label, so it doesn't feature the same look as regular Total War. It's got of course, a zombie in the background. So new flavor, new look. Very eye-catching, limited edition, of course, for Halloween. My question, this is not so much your comment on the product, but have you thought about doing the whole, get it into the limited side and doing these complete alternative-looking labels, like a Halloween hooligan? It's got a nice ring to it, or a Christmas hooligan with you wearing a Santa's hat or something. I don't know. On
my label, I'm going to have Lukasz.
Oh,
you have Lukasz?
Yeah. I mean, can you think of a better fucking representative for the brand? Lukasz is going to be my #1 model. I mean, he's assassin and hooligan. He looks
he's
at
got hard nails, I hear.
Very hard nails.
I would be a good Freddy Krueger, man.
I can even see, I can see a little slogan. You're going to be hard like Lukasz.
Hard like Lukasz. I was trying to lightly hint at these things. I didn't.
What was the question?
Would you be considering doing Halloween, Christmas editions of products?
Yeah, absolutely. Doing one actually special edition on protein for December, and we also releasing a very special pre-workout edition that we'll disclose a little bit later. So yeah, I in terms of Redcon, how they doing it, I think nobody even comes close. I'll give them props for that, because regardless of products, criticism lately that they're not doing same as they used to, changing formulas and all that. We could actually criticize pretty much almost every brand, but regardless of that, when it comes to marketing, how they market the products, and every fucking holiday they have a special edition. I mean, they have it so much, the formula is like nobody I've ever seen, and it's really, really, really good. I mean, it's always their marketing is on the highest level. Every 4th of July, Christmas, Halloween, they have something going on. They have different themes. They usually have beautiful designs for their labels. Actually, I'm a huge fan of the label designs. Not the original one. The original I'm okay with, but maybe because I got used to it by now.
I love the limited edition.
But the limited edition, I think nobody can beat those guys, because like I said, even Devastate of the Nation and like different brands, like I think ASC I think supplements.
Yeah.
They came up, and they're all good, but they're good in the sense that some people will like them and some people won't like them. Their creativity is one-dimensional according to what they want to do. and then you're going to have fans and you're going to have people that are going to talk shit about it. But Radcon, I really never seen anyone, and I'm not the biggest Aaron Segerman fan.
There's only one that you have to know. Come on, Meyerblox. They would be the only one that I would say
too. Yeah, but
is in the realm.
But I mean, Radcon releases they limited editions, like I said, every month, every 2 months, something. Because every holiday they on point. They always, there's never delay. It's always perfect timing of their release, perfect announcement of their release, and the labels. I think the creativity is like through the roof because it always matches the theme beautifully, and you can admire what they do. But yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We've never done it before. This is the first year that we will do it, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's going to be.
Are you going to do the full rebrand? Like it's going to be a completely different label design, or is it going to be just like a flavor call out?
You know what? I mean, the thing is like with the protein, it's going to be pretty much just a different flavor. It's going to be nothing special in terms of that, but the flavor is pretty good. But with the pre-Pong, so when you see it, you will see, well, this is definitely a Pong, but the label itself is definitely going to be different, like different theme, different everything. But and Lukasz is going to be on it, and we're going to advertise it. You're going to get as high and as hard as Lukasz. Guaranteed, or your money is back.
Just have a picture of Lukasz holding an eggplant.
Well, that's different. We had my back on Hooligan. We had the Ninja on Assassin. Next one, we gotta have Lukasz.
Yeah, people will be so confused.
Who the fuck is this guy?
They'll probably think they'll be like, he must be like some insane athlete or something. I must be out of the loop because why is he on there?
Non-athlete.
but you know what? It's gonna be something different. I want that smile just like he's smiling right now, and I just want 2 thumbs up, and it's like, get hard like me. Or you know what? We can do 2 things.
He might end up on a different shelf, I think.
That's fine, but it's gonna get attention.
It's gonna be a top seller, man.
We can have actually 2 pictures, one of Lukasz and one of TJ. On TJ, there's gonna be a cross. You don't want to look like that. You want to be hard like Lukasz.
Get hard like the Polish pulverizer.
Oh,
Damn, man.
You're gonna be like hard like a Polish kielbasa. Ooh. You see, 3D works. It works.
Okay. So we got next. I got Robert. I didn't really see any super exciting formulas this week, so it wasn't really like. But I liked Chaos and Pain's move. I don't know if you saw it with their protein powder. So it's usually like, I can't remember the normal price. It's like, I thought it was like $30-something, and occasionally they do deals where like you can get 2 or 3 for like 20 each. And so now they've permanently lowered the price of their protein powder to $20 for 2 pounds. No change in formula. Same, I think it's like 28 servings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 28 servings. I'm pretty sure it's like, is it a whey concentrate formula? I really can't imagine a blend being down.
Concentrate, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine a blend being that.
It is a blend of concentrate and isolate.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. So concentrate, isolate.
Yeah.
I mean, the other macros, the 3 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fat. So, I mean, it doesn't look like a 50-50 to me. But the still $20, I thought was a pretty. And they didn't change it. They didn't do anything flavor-wise. They just dropped it to $20 for 2 pounds. And it's kind of the ghost thing. Like, I thought it was just really cool that they said they're moving forward. It's $20.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. You're giving people a quality protein supplement. I mean, the 3 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fat is. I mean, it's a relatively lean protein, and I don't think most people are going to be upset about 3 grams of carbohydrates. I understand that's over your daily limit, Shane. But, yeah. Consumer
10% on.
No, I like the move. I mean, if you can put out a quality product that's affordable for people, it's a dynamite move for me. I don't have any qualms about
they had
it.
A 5 pound previously. I don't know if they still do. They had a 5 pound, or even it might have been like a 4.5 or whatever. So I was interested to see that they basically just went with a more 4 or 5 pound price for a 2 pound tub, or at least £2 in value to 4 and 5 pound. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
their 5 pound tub is out of stock on their website, but the 2 pound tub is in stock. That's a hell of a deal for people looking for a good protein.
How many flavors they have?
5.
They have. I thought it was 4, maybe 5.
They've got cinnamon swirl, carnivorous chocolate, cookies and cream, and vanilla bean dream team. So 4 flavors.
Yeah, so that's again $20. I thought it was a good deal. I mean,
yeah, it's less than $1 a scoop. It's cheaper than blitzing up chicken and water together.
Yeah, I thought it was just a cool move, and yeah, I guess because I know that they run sales often, and I think it would drop down to $20 a tub, and you very rarely see 2 pounds in that realm. I mean,
it's usually 30, 35,
especially a blend.
Like right.
I would like to see transparency on the concentrate and isolate, but I say that, but I may not want to see that. So I mean, it's I don't imagine it being super concentrate heavy. I only ever can tell though when I try them if it's too much concentrate, or I end up going to the bathroom too quick. So
yeah, but I mean,
it's the only way I can tell.
It's a relatively high concentrate quality, so I would assume they're using a WPC 80 just because there's only 120 calories per scoop. If they were using something like a WPC 50 or 60, you would expect a much higher fat and overall calorie and carb content too. So overall, I mean, you're getting 25 grams of protein. The entire scoop size, like serving size, is 32 grams. 25 grams of that is protein. So yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, again, I still think it was pretty cool to see that. It's a good move. It's obviously only going to help consumers because surely I don't imagine wholesale getting that kind of discount on equal. So it was cool to see.
Agreed.
But the one for Lukasz, and I know you want this one, Lukasz. You must have seen it. Bear Bells, of course. Well, I think this is like their 3rd year running. I don't know. I don't know if I've known them that long, but they did another limited edition flavor for Christmas. And I thought this one was interesting. I think I had to look it up because I wasn't quite familiar, like if it was like a special flavor or anything. But so they announced Holiday Puffs, which is a Christmas edition limited time flavor for their protein bar, which is still my #1 protein bar in the world. I think they put like crispy puff protein pieces around the edges with like a layer of caramel on top, and then the main body is described as like a white fluffy dough center. I didn't really like understand what that meant, like what does white taste like, but I suspect it's some sort of marshmallow thing. Yeah, there you go. Damn, that looks good.
Damn.
Wow.
This episode is filled with good technology, man. I gotta say.
It's it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the thing is that
packaging is on point, man.
The last 2 flavors that they did for Christmas both proved so popular they made them permanent. We had the dark mint chocolate and the Christmas fudge. So both were limited time, backed by demand, and now permanently part of their lineup. So I mean, I don't really know what to think of this one. It doesn't really sound like it doesn't really give much description. Just caramel puff pieces and again a white fluffy center.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, same as you, I'm a fan of their brand. Same as they got some pretty cool stuff coming soon as well, because they're not only like producing bars, but they are also coming with some, from what I've heard, protein puddings as well.
They do puddings, do they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they've got them in Sweden.
Yeah. But they are planning to, expand for the entire Europe right now.
I always wondered what it entailed because I thought the puddings were in the UK, because I know you can ship them to the UK. You can get them in the UK and in Germany have them.
Yeah.
It's their ice cream though.
Yeah,
that's what they need.
From what I've heard in Germany, they are already working with some manufacturers and also some bigger like shopping malls but they are not advertised as the barbells. It's a different name. I don't remember. I need to check it out once again, the article. But it's the main product comes from Sweden, so it's made, and the entire formula is as the barbells, but the brand that they are selling it in Germany, it's a different one. So here in Poland, we also have, for example, a one brand that's also sells as a protein pudding, and it's called Vitalo, I think, and it comes from Finland, I believe, or something. And they're also giving away their formula, but
Yeah, well, I know barbells or beer bells, they manufacture a lot of stuff for people. I mean,
yeah.
I've obviously tried several bars that taste very similar.
Yeah. But in regards to bar, I will give you my honest opinion once the package arrived. I ordered 3 bars from their partner, official partner. That's the store. I don't remember the name. Protein something. As well, and I also ordered the GAM. The bars that you.
Oh yeah. Protein. Bolligate.
Yeah.
I believe it translates to protein warehouse.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, and they already had the full spec, including all the barbells, GAM bars, and
if I remember correctly, in Sweden, all retailers work with beer bells. They used to share them early, and I would go in and look through all the Swedish stores and take the news. And then I think there was one time where they asked me to take it down because I shared it too early, and then I never saw any more leaks after that again.
Yeah. To be honest, they are pretty strict as far as their
release dude.
Everything, man.
Remember our communication with them?
Yeah, but you know what? I also like their distribution policy. They're very strict.
It's strict, yeah.
Yeah, when they're signing with someone, it's super hard. I remember back in the days when the barbells launched and they had 4 or 5 bars, in their lineup. We tried to connect with them and do some business with them, but they said no. So,
I think they want to do a lot of it themselves.
Yeah.
So they're very protective of people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, They are trying to do everything by themselves.
They've done well. They're probably
They did it extremely well.
As far as I know, they're the only European brand to have an impact on the protein bar market in the US.
Yes.
They've had a much bigger impact than Grenade. Outside of that, I don't know of any other European bar in the US.
Yeah. Have you, by the way, tried the US Grenade already or not?
I mean, I imagine it's pretty good, but again, I like to keep my dessert as chocolate and caramel and sweet stuff. Apples don't really belong in my dessert, but I imagine it tastes good. I'm not denying that. They make all things taste good, but I mean, it's a limited time as well, so I don't know if I'll make the effort to try something that's going to disappear.
Yeah, man.
Well, I actually have one more question for the group, because we're putting together our list of brands of the year. It's going to be a bit hard because, one of the guys here has a brand, but
no shit.
You weren't supposed to tell anybody I was starting a supplement brand yet, Shane. Thanks for leaking that.
So, I've got what I believe to be the nominees, but obviously we're trying to make sure we include all the ones we need to. So I would like to get opinions on who the most impressive new brand for you is. And they can only have launched between November, December of last year. So they've kind of been on the market before then. I have a few names. I don't want to rattle them off. But
new brand they just launched?
Yeah, within the past year.
Oh, well, the past year.
Glaxon's at the top of that list.
Yes, they were one of the first ones I wrote down.
Yeah, that's definitely at the top of the list.
I was trying to go over a few other I thought HD Muscle was quite impressive. The Canadian guys, the black and yellow.
Oh yeah.
If you check out their stuff, shit.
Can you give me your suggestions?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think of new brands that have.
Yeah, I mean it's probably one of the harder things to do. I think we're trying to make it so that I'm not forcing myself to add people to the list to make up a certain number. I'm just going with who I think fits. But obviously, if there's a brand you think, I feel like my numbers are pretty on. Another one I thought was pretty good was Naughty Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Only because they've just been consistent from start to finish of the year.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know I don't know when brands I'm more cognizant of when products are launching, not when an actual brand has debuted.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. Just a brand that's kind of popped up on your radar. It may not be new. It might be new.
Honestly, Naughty Boy is doing some crazy stuff nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky category for me because, again, you kind of have to try and remember who's come. And obviously, this year was torn to shit. So new brands probably wasn't the best thing people wanted to do.
I think that first of all, thank you for asking for opinion. But the thing is that I think you are more on a global scale than we are, because we know, I know Robert and we certainly know more of American market. You know what's going on in Japan and all over the world. So in my personal opinion, because if you have to go and let me think, then it doesn't really count. In my opinion,
that's my point.
I
but
think
you may throw out a brand that I
think it's Glaxon. If we're talking about the new companies, I think Glaxon is first, second, and third. I don't think there is competition. To be honest with you, I don't even think it's if it's much of a question, because there's nobody else that people are talking about as much. Agree or disagree with their products, like them or don't like them, doesn't really matter. But in terms of I noticed a lot of companies lately. I can think of at least 5 or 6 off the top of my head, and I'm not even going to say it. They're coming up with products, and we're not talking about a new company, just companies in general. I noticed they're releasing glutamine and creatine and this and that, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. But there is nothing that really anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. We're talking about, something that is truly not game-changing, not innovative, nothing like that. But when you have a formula that is coming out, you obviously have to think about it. It's very easy. Those single ingredient products, they cost nothing. They cost $2 or $3. You call the manufacturer, if you're manufacturing yourself, let's do 20 units, and at the same time, let's contact Stack 3D. And we can announce right now that we have a new product. That shouldn't count. In my opinion, it shouldn't count. You're trying to be in the news, so to speak, but there is nothing innovative. There is nothing special about you. Again, it's my personal opinion. You're just making yourself visible. But when you either upgrading an existing formula, or you're coming up with a new formula, or you're coming up with a new product that definitely gets attention, I think then you're making waves, that you really stand out. And yeah, Naughty Boy, I mean, they don't have a presence in the United States. But for me, every time I see Naughty Boy, I see a pre-workout, a new flavor, a new label, a new this. So they're staying active. Their formulas also, I've seen, they're pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about them, and it's not even about the formulas. But the reason why my vote is for Glaxon in terms of a new company, because these guys came with a pre-workout, with greens, with multivitamins. Yeah. They actually came with formulas. I wouldn't be that. Their label is again, this is one of those labels that either you like it or you don't. It doesn't really matter. But they definitely put work into it. Definitely some thought went into it. I mean, look, they even got Ben Kane to formulate their products because he's a genius. So, they definitely putting work into it. They definitely, well, everybody's quiet. I'm reacting to you right now, but they definitely putting work into it. In terms of a new company, they stand out. Hands down, and nobody comes close, in my opinion. Oh, look. What? I mean, I just hope that Glaxon doesn't come up with any skin products. That's all I'm going to say. But other than that, we're good to go.
All right. There you go,
Nice
Shane.
answer.
Yeah. I think it would be hands down. I mean, I can't think of anybody else that's immediately jumping to mind. And if that's the case, I mean, that's probably. I'm not going to influence them.
That's generally how they approach it, yeah.
Yeah.
Shane, is there anyone outside the United States that you think is, made as much impact as Glaxon? I mean, in terms of like as a new company, that's the reason why I said, thank you for asking for our opinions, because all we know is basically here. We don't know, like, maybe there is a company that is better than Glaxon. I'm just speaking from my perspective, from what I've seen. But do you think?
I thought HD Muscle in Canada was a big one. MetaLab in South Africa, Vayu out of Germany. I thought they were pretty damn cool.
But that's the thing, the MetaLab didn't do much. They right now, they launched some formulas, but their presence is pretty small, and they basically are not.
I think when it comes to like brand of the year or
anything like this,
Yeah, when it comes to brand of the year and like those sorts of awards, though, like if I found the best tasting functional company in a small town in the middle of Switzerland that I had to drive an hour for, and they were putting together the like just orgasm like protein snacks, I don't know, like I would give them functional brand of the year. I wouldn't care if you could only buy them at the market on Sundays. They would deserve it. That's, I guess, there is certain weight taken into account. Like if you're available in certain countries and you're on par with another brand, I might take the distribution range into account like a little more, but I prefer to, make those people that deserve it and who are making the difference stand out. So, I mean, like even though MetaLab isn't outside of South Africa, I've liked what they've done. I've been very impressed with what they did. Same with Vayu in Germany.
Yeah, I agree.
They haven't really stepped outside of Europe, but they've definitely. I still love that video they did with the intro workout. How they said there was like no budget, no cap on the ingredients and dosages. I thought that was just the coolest thing, and then they come out with a €70 intro workout.
Yeah.
I like their labels. Their labels are really cool. For my liking, I really like that.
Yeah, it's just a very different take. Like even when you think, it'd be like, someone told me I'm going to come with something you haven't seen before, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Then you see it, you're like, holy shit, you weren't lying. It doesn't happen often. And they just came out of nowhere. So I liked them, and they've put together what their amino is €60. So like they don't really, it's 20 grams of EAAs per serving in that one. So they don't hold back in these things. I've liked what they've done, so yeah, it'll be interesting. It's I'm glad that you guys all said Glaxon. They were one high up on the list, I think, for me.
Especially with the season 2 that's coming, so I think.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you for making time. As we stayed on a little longer than we did the past couple of weeks, so thank you for your extra time. For all the viewers that hung with us for our 2-hour tour de force conversation, thank you as well. And if, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff that you're supposed to do when you're watching these videos on YouTube or whatnot. And we'll catch you next time on the final scoop.
And stay hard like Lukasz.
Exactly.